Have you ever looked around your home, the one you've lived in for decades, and asked yourself, what happens if I can't manage here anymore? Have you wondered what life would really be like in a nursing home? Would you still feel like yourself? Would you be safe? Or would you slowly disappear into a routine that wasn't your own? So many of us assume that when our health declines or we grow older, the next step is automatic. A facility, a place that's clean, structured, with meals and medication. But here's the truth, what looks safe on paper doesn't always feel safe in the soul. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain together. Let's uncover the 7 worst things that can happen when you move into a nursing home. Not to scare you, but to inform you, because knowing the truth now might help you or someone you love stay in control later. Over the next few chapters, you'll hear real stories, see real outcomes, and most importantly, you'll learn how it's still possible to grow older without giving up the life you love. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, because this might be the most important video you've seen all year. Number 1, the truth about nursing homes. I once met a woman named Helen. She was 82, a retired choir teacher who used to hum Brahms while folding laundry. Her daughter, juggling 2 young kids and a demanding job, brought Helen to my clinic one warm October afternoon. Helen had started forgetting simple things, names, directions, and one morning she left the stove on, then wandered into the street in her slippers. Her family, loving but anxious, all seemed to whisper the same thing: it's time for a nursing home. But when Helen sat across from me, her voice soft but steady, I didn't see someone ready to give up her independence. I saw someone scared of disappearing. She wasn't afraid of aging. She had come to terms with her memory slipping. What she couldn't bear was leaving behind the house that held her stories, her garden, her window seat where she once watched spring bloom. That's the part so many of us miss when we talk about nursing homes. On paper, they seem ideal. Neat, organized, professionally staffed. The brochures show cheerful seniors in art classes, playing cards, chatting over coffee. But the real picture? Often far more complicated. Most people don't know this. Nursing homes are businesses. They run on budgets, efficiency plans, and staff limits. And while the caregivers are often kind-hearted and hardworking, they're pushed to the edge, forced to care for 10, even 20 people in a shift. Each with medications, routines, emotional needs. In that setting, care becomes a checklist, not a connection. I once saw a man, Mr. Carson, press his emergency button and wait nearly an hour before help came. Not because no one cared, but because no one had time. And it's not just physical discomfort. It's the loss of control. In many nursing homes, you don't decide when to eat or sleep or bathe. You follow the facility's rhythm, not your own. And then comes the silence. At first, loved ones visit, but over time, visits fade. Friends pass, life moves on, and residents are left with a humming TV and long hours. That kind of loneliness doesn't just hurt, it shortens lives. Studies published in The Gerontologist found seniors in nursing homes with limited social interaction had double the risk of early death compared to those who stayed socially connected. I don't share this to scare you. I share it because you deserve the full picture before making one of life's biggest decisions. So before you sign anything, pause. Ask yourself, is this really the life you or your loved one deserve? Sometimes the best care isn't down the hall. It's at home, where your story began. If you're still here, please comment the number 1 so we know you're watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more heartfelt stories and real advice on aging with dignity. Number 2, the emotional cost of leaving home. There's a certain kind of magic that lives in a home. Not in the walls or the furniture, but in the little things. The sound of floorboards creaking under your familiar step. The afternoon light that always hits just right through the kitchen window. The scent of a blanket that's been there for decades. These are the threads that weave your story into a space and turn a house into a life. When someone asks you to leave that behind late in life, it's not just a move. It's a quiet kind of heartbreak. Let me tell you about Walter. He was 87, a retired letter carrier, a widower. He lived alone in the house he and his wife, Elaine, had bought when Kennedy was president. Out back, the garden bloomed each spring, roses, lilies, and one old pear tree that never bore fruit but kept growing anyway. Elaine had loved that tree. After she passed, Walter watered it every morning, rain or shine. When his son suggested moving him into a senior facility after a minor slip in the bathtub, Walter didn't argue. He smiled, nodded. But when I visited the next week, I found him on the porch, just staring at that tree. His coffee had gone cold. "If I go," he whispered, "no one will remember why that tree still matters." That's what people don't always see. Leaving your home isn't just about safety. It's about leaving behind a timeline of self. The chair where you rocked your grandchild to sleep, the cupboard where you kept the good china, the scratch on the door from a day long gone. Those things hold you together. Even if you choose to leave willingly, the emotional cost can run deep. Research from the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that older adults who relocate without emotional readiness are at greater risk of depression, disorientation, and even cognitive decline. The loss of control, the routines, the little decisions, the known layout of a home can cause a person to feel unmoored. Because home isn't just where we live, it's where we belong. Where we're not a case number or a task on a schedule, we're just ourselves. I've seen proud, vibrant people lose their spark after a move. They stop baking, stop laughing. Sometimes they even stop speaking. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to happen. With a little help, family, caregivers, small changes around the house, many seniors could stay right where they are, safely, joyfully. So maybe the problem isn't your home. Maybe it's the belief that aging means leaving it behind. If this touched your heart, please comment the number 2 below so we know you're still with us. And don't forget to subscribe. There's more ahead that you won't want to miss. Number 3, the hidden health risks of nursing homes. When folks hear nursing home, they picture routine care. 3 hot meals a day, nurses on standby, medications given right on time. It sounds safe, even comforting. But what if I told you that some of the worst health declines I've seen didn't happen before someone entered a facility? They happened after. Let's go back to Walter, the man with the garden and the stubborn pear tree. After his son finally convinced him to move into a nice-looking nursing home, everything seemed fine at first. He had his own room. Meals arrived warm. A nurse checked in every morning. But within 3 months, Walter had lost 15 pounds. He stopped walking, even around the room. His legs, strong from decades of delivering mail and pulling weeds, simply gave out. By month 6, he needed a wheelchair. By month 9, he started forgetting names. I'm not saying the facility caused all of it, but I am saying the environment accelerated it. See, life inside a nursing home is structured, but that structure replaces daily movement. No more making sandwiches, no more checking the mail, no more choosing to walk across the kitchen. At first, it feels like help, but physically, the muscles stop working. Joints stiffen, balance fades. And soon we see what doctors call disuse syndrome. If you don't use it, you lose it. And it's not just the body. The mind slows down too. No need to plan meals, no need to navigate a familiar space. The brain grows quieter, too quiet. A 2018 study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors who moved into facilities showed sharper declines in memory and mobility within just 6 months, compared to those who stayed home with some help. But that's not all. Living in close quarters means infections spread fast. Flu, pneumonia, MRSA, norovirus, just one cough can set off a chain reaction. Urinary tract infections are also common, and if untreated, can turn to sepsis, life-threatening. The CDC confirms this. Residents in nursing homes are far more likely to suffer serious infections than those living independently. And yet, maybe the greatest health risk isn't physical. It's the emotional fading. I've had patients tell me, "No one asks me what I want anymore." They're not being cruel, they're being forgotten. But there's another way. What if we stop preparing people to be institutionalized and instead prepare their homes to grow old with them? If you're still with us, comment the number 3 below so we know you're here. And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more truths and hope coming your way in the next chapter. Number 4, aging in place, a smarter, kinder way forward. Picture this. It's a calm spring morning. You wake in your own bed, the same one you've slept in for decades. The mattress fits your body just right. You reach for your slippers, walk slowly to the kitchen, and turn on your trusty old kettle. Out the window, the neighbor's dog barks at a passing squirrel. The curtains you love sway in the breeze. Nothing fancy, but everything is yours. That's aging in place. Not in a luxury suite, not far away from family. Just home, with support, with dignity, with a little bit of planning. Some say it's risky to stay at home as we age, that it's impractical, maybe even selfish. But after 40 years in medicine, I've seen something different. People who age in their own space tend to live longer, heal faster, stay happier. Why? Because they are surrounded by comfort, memories, and choice. Let me tell you about someone special, Evelyn. She's 91, lives in the same small house she and her late husband built by hand right after World War II. Her knees ache, her vision's not perfect, but she gets up every morning, makes her coffee, and reads the paper at the same sunny spot in her kitchen. Evelyn's not toughing it out. She and her daughter made a plan. Her home has been modified. Grab bars in the bathroom, a walk-in shower, a ramp where stairs used to be. Lights turn on when she enters a room. And yes, she talks to Alexa. What's on my calendar today? Call Grace. A part-time caregiver visits 3 days a week to help with groceries and laundry. On Wednesdays, her church group picks her up for lunch. Evelyn isn't cut off, she's connected. This isn't a fantasy. It's called aging in place, and it's growing across the country. A 2020 AARP report found that 77% of adults over 50 want to stay in their homes as long as possible. And it's often cheaper than a nursing home. Instead of spending $8,000 a month, you might spend $5,000 once on home upgrades. Add a caregiver for a few hundred a week. It adds up to independence on your own terms. Families are stepping up too. One sibling handles errands. Another does weekend check-ins. Even neighbors get involved. Communities now offer rides, meal delivery, wellness calls. The secret? Don't wait. Plan now. Walk through your home. Look for hazards. Ask questions. Involve your loved ones. Because aging in place isn't about fear. It's about freedom. And as Evelyn once told me, I don't need forever. I just want my days to feel like they still belong to me. If that speaks to you, leave a comment with the number 4 below so we know you're still with us. And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more stories and insights coming up that matter. Number 5, the power of staying in control. Let me ask you something real simple. When was the last time you made a choice that really mattered? Not just tea or coffee, jacket or sweater. I mean a decision that made you stop and think, this is still my life. I still have a say. For many older adults, especially those facing illness, memory loss, or fatigue, that feeling fades fast. And when it goes, it takes something important with it: health. I remember a man named Jerome. He was 74 when he had a mild stroke. Nothing major, just enough to rattle him and his daughters. Out of love and fear, they moved him into a nice assisted living facility. Soft chairs, daily activities, fresh fish on Thursdays. But 6 weeks later, Jerome called me. His voice cracked. "Doc," he said, "I feel like a guest in my own skin." What he missed wasn't the backyard or the neighborhood. He missed having a choice, sleeping in if he wanted, skipping lunch without explanation, sitting outside with his paper, even if it was cold. That kind of freedom might seem small, but it's what makes life feel like yours. There's science to back this up. A 23-year study from Yale found that seniors who viewed aging positively, who felt engaged and in control, lived an average of 7.5 years longer than those who didn't. Not because they had better genes, but because their minds and bodies stayed stronger. Feeling powerless? It raises cortisol, raises blood pressure, increases inflammation. But feeling in charge, even just a little, can heal you. Of course, not everyone can climb ladders or rake leaves at 85, but control doesn't have to be big. Choosing your own shirt, picking your dinner, deciding when to take your nap. These things matter. They anchor your identity. That's why aging in place, when planned right, works so well. You don't ask permission to open a window. You know where your favorite mug is. And when changes come, like adding grab bars or getting help with cooking, they're made with you, not for you. In many nursing homes, routines rule the day. Everything's done on schedule. Even the nicest ones often feel like machines trying to stay on time. But life isn't a schedule. It's a story, yours. Jerome said something I'll never forget after he moved back to Mom. I get to butter my own toast, even burn it if I want. That's freedom. That's still living. If that meant something to you, leave a comment with the number 5 below and don't forget to subscribe, because next we'll talk about the hidden cost many families never see coming. Number 6, the hidden costs of nursing homes. There's this quiet assumption many families make when someone they love starts to decline. We'll find a good place, it won't be cheap, but it'll be worth it. But most don't really know what not cheap looks like until the bills start coming. I remember Martin and Louise. They'd been married over 5 decades. Martin drove trucks, Louise stayed home, raised their 3 kids, managed the books. They were the kind of couple who saved quietly, never asked for much. When Louise's arthritis worsened and her memory slipped, the family did what felt responsible. They found a nursing home nearby. It looked clean, the staff was friendly, it cost $8,200 a month. At first, Martin used savings, then pensions. Then he started dipping into retirement accounts. 2 years in, he had to mortgage their home. And here's the hard truth, this happens all the time. Across the U.S., a semi-private room in a nursing home can range from $4,000 to $12,000 a month. That's $48,000 to $144,000 a year. And that's before add-ons. Physical therapy? Extra. Dementia care? Extra. Private room? Definitely extra. Medication management? Sometimes extra. Now multiply that by 5 years. Even at $7,000 a month, that's over $400,000. A lifetime savings gone. And the twist? Most people assume Medicare will help. It won't. Medicare only covers up to 100 days, and only after a qualified hospital stay. After that, you're on your own unless you qualify for Medicaid. But to do that, most states require you to spend down your assets. That means selling your home, using your savings, becoming on paper nearly broke. Long-term care insurance might help, but only if you bought in early. Many policies don't cover everything. Some have limits. Others are too expensive to maintain. And it's not just money, it's the emotional cost. I've watched adult children lose sleep wondering how to pay next month's bill. Spouses fall into quiet depression, not because their partner is sick, but because they feel like they've failed them. Now let's compare that to aging in place. Spend $5,000 on home modifications, grab bars, lighting, a stair lift. Hire a part-time caregiver for around $12,000 a year. Add in some groceries and bills, and you're still spending half or even a third of what you'd pay in a nursing home. And the best part? You're still home, still in charge, still you. This isn't about taking shortcuts, it's about changing the equation. Money can buy care, but it can't buy peace. It can't buy the sound of birds outside your window, or your favorite chair warmed by the morning sun. If this chapter opened your eyes, please comment the number 6 below so we know you're here. And don't forget to subscribe, because next, we'll talk about what happens when control is lost. Not just financially, but emotionally. Number 7, the psychological toll of giving up home. It's easy to move a person's body. You pack a suitcase, you sign the papers, you schedule the ride. In a few hours, someone can be moved from the house they built, full of laughter and memories, into a quiet room with pastel curtains and soft linoleum floors. But moving a soul? That's a different story. I've seen it over and over. The light in someone's eyes fading, not from illness, but from being displaced. It starts small, a quiet sigh, a longer stare out the window. Then comes the withdrawal, the silence, the sense that something deep inside has started to dim. Let me tell you about Ruth. She was 89. Her son moved her into a beautiful senior facility after she had a mild heart scare. Her old home was cold, drafty, and had stairs. On paper, it made sense. But within 6 weeks, Ruth stopped knitting. She stopped caring for her violets. She barely spoke above a whisper. Her blood pressure dropped. She lost weight. And then one day she asked me, "Is this it?" That question still echoes in my chest. She wasn't asking about pills or meal plans. She was asking if this life, this quiet, limited version, was all she had left. Psychologists call it learned helplessness. It's when someone stops trying to change their environment because they believe they can't. It's common in trauma survivors. And sadly, it's common in seniors living in institutions where decisions are made for them, not with them. They lose more than their address. They lose their identity. They're no longer the one who bakes pies for Sunday dinner. No longer the person who knows where every spoon belongs. They become a chart, a room number, a scheduled task in someone else's day. Even when basic needs are met, food, meds, blood pressure checks, something far more vital is missing. Meaning, purpose, a reason to wake up. A 2019 study from Psychological Science found that older adults with a strong sense of purpose had a lower risk of death, no matter their income or health. When people feel useful, connected, and known, they thrive. When they feel forgotten, they fade. But here's the hope. It doesn't have to be that way. When older adults stay in familiar places, homes they helped build, neighborhoods they helped shape, something powerful remains. Their sense of self. They still get to choose, still get to participate, still get to matter. Because aging doesn't erase the soul, it reveals it. And home is often where the soul has the space to keep painting. If this chapter moved you, comment the number 7 below so we know you're still with us. And don't forget to subscribe. Our final chapter is coming up next. So what have we learned? That aging doesn't mean losing who you are. That home isn't just a building, it's your memories, your voice, your freedom. That while nursing homes may promise care, they often come with hidden costs to your health, your finances, and your spirit. But more importantly, we've learned that there is another way. With planning, with support, with love. You can stay in the place that knows your stories. You can age in dignity, not in silence. You still have a say. You still matter. This chapter of your life isn't about fading. It's about shining in your own light. So take this message with you, share it with someone who needs it, and never forget you have the power to choose how you live every single day. And if none of these 7 things have touched your life, then from the bottom of my heart, congratulations. You are truly blessed. I wish you continued peace, strength, and all the goodness this life can offer. If this video touched your heart, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss a story that could change your future. And most of all, thank you for spending your time with me today.